Hello, my name is Mallory, and today I'll be giving my persuasive speech on adoption versus abortion. I'm going to be discussing fetal development, abortion procedures allowed by law, and contraceptive methods, and information on adoption. According to Mike Walters' in the book Abortion, conception is a process of 3 stages: fertilization, division, and implantation. Here's a slide to do with fertilization. The sperm cell of the male and the egg cell of the female meet, and then it goes into the division stage, and the cells start to multiply and become a blastocyst. In the stage of implantation, the blastocyst implants into the uterus wall and becomes an embryo. This is the beginning of life. In the book Abortion and Unborn Human Life by Patrick Lee, he argues between the difference between pro-life and pro-choice. Lee believes life begins at conception, and the baby should have moral rights from the time it's conceived until it's born. And also, a law should be made to protect the baby while it's unborn, because they cannot protect itself. It also shows the pro-choice side, who believes that abortion should be allowed because the woman should have the right to do whatever with her body. Here's the fetus during the first trimester, and the first trimester is from conception to 12 weeks. It has begun to develop the brain, spinal cord, and heart. And you can see in this picture that it has eyes, arms, legs, and ears. Here is a slide of the first trimester abortion. In the book, The Abortion Rights Debate by Justin Healy, he explains the techniques used for the first trimester abortions. The medical abortion is where you get an injection of methotrexate, and then 5 to 7 days later insert misoprostol into the vagina, which causes a spontaneous abortion. It can be done up to 9 weeks. Another option is surgical procedure, and this is a vacuum aspiration, and is used to suction the baby out of the uterus and can be done up to 16 weeks. This picture is probably a suction. So keep in mind, while your baby is in the early stages of development and has a heart, organs, and brain, these abortion techniques can be used. And here is a slide of the fetus during the second trimester. This is weeks 13 to 28, and the fetus continues to grow and limbs are more developed. Bones are beginning to harden, and the sex of the baby is defined. The mother can feel the movement, and it's called quickening, and the baby starts to develop the eyelids, hair, nails, and eyebrows. Here is second trimester abortion, and it explains it there. And while reading the book by Mike Walters, Abortion, he explains what a second trimester abortion is and how it works. A dilation evacuation procedure can be performed between 13 and 24 weeks. The doctor softens the surface with a medication called Diaplan, and then widens the cervix and uses forceps to grab the baby out piece by piece. And that shows it in the picture. Here is a third trimester fetus, and while reading the book, Mike Walters' book, Abortion, during the third trimester, 28 to 40 weeks, the baby is close to fully developed and is gaining weight and the lungs mature. And you can see the baby has hair and more defined features. Here is a third trimester abortion. Abortion is not legal during the third trimester unless it's life-threatening to the mother. In some states, this isn't even legal. After reading the Abortion Rights Debate by Justin Healy, other countries such as the UK do allow late-term abortions. While reading Kevin Nolan's book, Abortion, Legislative and Legal Issues, he explained about partial birth abortion, which shows in this picture. The labor is induced, and once the baby is partially delivered, it is then killed. Again, this is not legal in North Carolina. Here's abortion law, Roe v. Wade, and this is the landmark of abortion. While reading Abortion, Legislative and Legal Issues by Kevin Nolan, it stated that in 1973, in the Roe v. Wade case, that they made it to where women can terminate their baby up to a legal limit. The legal limit for North Carolina is 20 weeks, but other states may be different. While reading Kevin Nolan's book, many people said that they weren't informed enough about the development of the baby when they had their abortion. They also suffered depression, anxiety, and shame, and also said that they wouldn't have it done if they would have knew how developed the baby was or saw a sonogram. In order to keep from having an unwanted pregnancy and having to get an abortion, in the book by Michael Benson, Coping with Birth Control, he gives us ways to prevent pregnancy. Here are several. And here's a slide that shows you birth control methods. Birth control pill, hormonal patch, implant, injections, or an IUD. I understand sometimes birth control may fail or you could be a rape victim, but please consider an alternative option such as adoption. There are so many people waiting to adopt a child. Couples have tried to have children but have spent money trying to get pregnant. They have hormone shots, try IVF, and pay a surrogate to carry the child. While reading a column by Nancy Hillman in USA Today, it was talking about how frustrating it was to be the prospective parents in the adoption agencies from the lack of babies. The Edna Gladney Center stated they have 3,000 to 4,000 a year inquiring to adopt, and only 255 babies can be placed. In the U.S., there are millions wanting to adopt and thousands having abortions. I think it would be great if you had more advocates to help with unplanned pregnancies and adoptions. A child that was not wanted becomes someone that was prayed for and will accept with all the love in the world. Adoption is helping, not hurting the baby. I know that some women become pregnant from unprotected sex or rape. Also, some aren't prepared financially or just have bad timing. Adoption would be a great outcome for these babies and mothers. Adoption helps all sides. Unborn baby, the mother, the person, or couple want to adopt. I know that some just don't want the responsibility, so they could just ignore the gossip and shame. But try to remember it's a positive thing and a positive outcome for the baby and the adopter. You just have to sacrifice a little bit of time and give the baby life over death. A lot of people don't adopt because adoption is so expensive and takes so much time. Most of the compensation goes to the mother, adoption, agency fees, and lawyer fees. Therefore, a bunch of people don't adopt. Here's an adoption slide, and this is saying that 6 in 10 Americans are touched by adoption in some way. And I think laws should be changed to get the cost down for adoption if so many people could afford adoption. I also think that we should have stricter laws on abortion, and that if someone seeks abortion, they should have to go through counseling and be given other options and wait longer to have an abortion. If everyone is working together for improvement of adoptions, I think we could see less abortions. So in closing, I hope I have enlightened you on how developed the fetus is during the weeks of each trimester, how invasive abortion is, and the different contraceptive methods to prevent unwanted pregnancy, and adoption is a good alternative for the unborn baby and mother.